of hard to define. How does a marriage expert like yourself, someone who studied this clinically and you've taught events around the world, how do you define love?
Yeah, well, we don't do it like most people where they just measure the euphoria. I mean, many people think they should get married when they really need a Valium. We look at it differently. We look at it 3 areas: commitment, intimacy, and passion. Commitment, I will be here with you and for you. Intimacy is openness, honesty, transparency. And passion is a craving for oneness. I want to share my body, my mind, my heart, my soul, my life. And we can actually measure those 3 things and tell a person how much in love they are. Yeah.
So, I mean, you developed testing and all this?
Well, Dr. Sternberg at Tufts developed that particular test. But yeah, there's testing for that, absolutely.
That's pretty amazing. So how do people fall in love? What's this path?
Well, the first thing, of course, is you've got to be attracted to the other person for some reason. And it's either going to be a physical attraction, something that you see or smell or hear, or it's going to be an intellectual attraction, boy, I really like talking to this person, or an emotional attraction, which is this individual evokes some emotion within me that I like. Makes me laugh, makes me feel safe, special, whatever. And the last is a spiritual attraction, which is the belief and value system that you have is attractive to me. So one of those 4 things typically makes us want to draw closer to another person. That's the first step, attraction.
So the belief and value system, that doesn't necessarily mean what I might call a good value system. I mean, this could just be a party animal, and they go, hey, that's who I want. I want a party animal.
Absolutely.
That's attractive, huh?
If that's what they want in a belief and value system, yes.
Okay.
Even though they may change that later in life, and then they'll be in a mess.
Yeah, well, absolutely, yeah, because I was going to change him after we got married,
Yes.
all that crap, yeah.
Yes.
So, from your perspective, and you and I have been friends a long time, and I know the level of research that you've done on this stuff and the one-on-one marriage counseling and so forth, but from your perspective looking at that, what do you call the most important thing in a relationship?
Okay, after the attraction step of the path comes what's called acceptance. The most important thing about to feel loved is if I know another person knows about me. I mean, not just the picture I paint, but really knows me. To the degree I believe that person knows me and still accepts me, I feel that much love. So if a person knows this much about me and says, I love you, I trust it this much. If they know this much about me and say, I love you, I trust it more. So it's the ability to accept the other person as he or she is, flaws, wrinkles, good things, bad things, all those things. When I feel accepted, I feel loved. When I accept you, I feel love toward you. That's really the most important thing.
Acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can call it respect sometimes.
All right. Now, I had a caller a little bit earlier who had princess syndrome. That's what she said, and I agreed with her. She had run up a bunch of credit card debt, and I often get that from a man or a woman who's run up a bunch of debt, and the other party, the other spouse didn't know it. The husband or the wife, the other side did not know it. So talk about truth. Telling the truth and transparency and that kind of stuff.
Very important. It actually ties into what we just said. Acceptance is of the other person, but not necessarily of the other person's behavior. Like, I can accept you as you are, but I can't accept what you just did. Most couples will lie to each other. And the reason is because they can't take the reprisal. If I tell you the truth in this area, we're going to fight, you're going to throw me out, or you're going to tell my parents, something's going to go on. The way to create a real truth scenario in a relationship is to give your spouse permission to tell you the truth no matter what. In other words, I'm going to give you immunity, you tell me, we'll work through it. It doesn't happen overnight. But if they can actually create that environment, then one won't be getting in debt without the other knowing, because they'll be talking to each other about, this is what I've done, this is what I'm doing, this is what I want to do. That's the environment you're looking for.
Now, every guy in the world is watching this right now is going, yeah, does this dress make me look fat? I'm going to answer that question. Not a chance I'm answering that question, Joe B. It ain't happening, baby.
Well, you interpret the question. What she's really saying is, am I beautiful? Do you still find me attractive? And that's how you answer it. You don't answer about that particular dress. You just say, honey, you are the most beautiful woman in the world. And you look wonderful tonight, like Eric Clapton said.
He's a politician, too. Oh, my gosh. So what is this issue of respect, and what is it that causes people to feel disrespected, to be disrespected?
Well, one thing, of course, is if you embarrass the other person, then he or she feels disrespected. If you ignore what they're trying to tell you, if you... the biggest one is this, though, is trying to control the other person. It's amazing how often one spouse will treat the other as if that spouse is inferior. What you think doesn't count. What you feel doesn't count. I'll tell you what to think. I'll tell you what to feel. I've actually been in an airport and watched a couple where the guy was treating his wife so badly, I walked over and said, pardon me, sir, but is that your daughter? Made him angry, and he said, no, what makes you think that? And I said, because you're treating her like a child. And then I ran and got on my plane before he could react to that.
You can't. Well, we've all seen people interact like that in public, and it's pretty embarrassing. It makes everybody uncomfortable.
Yes. So imagine what's happening when they're behind closed doors.
Oh my gosh.
If we can treat each other with dignity, respect, I don't have to agree with what you think or say, but I give value to what you think and say. Now we can make a partnership that's crucial to a relationship. Absolutely.
Okay. On the other side of that, what kinds of things do people do that lead their spouses to feel respected? You know, I was thinking the other day, that's one of the gifts that my wife gives me all the time is you know, she'll say positive things as I go out the door. And so many guys or gals go to work with somebody saying a negative thing as they go out the door. I'm a superhero by the time I get to work every morning. And I'm convinced it's part of the reason I'm where I am.
I would have no doubt that's part of the reason you are where you are. Obviously, you're a gifted man. You would have been a success no matter what you did. But when you have that person supporting you, believing in you, we all want to be validated. Every individual, I don't care who he or she is, will occasionally have self-doubt. They start remembering the things you've messed up, the things that you embarrassed yourself with, and to have that one person that can continually say, I see the good. I'm going to validate that. That's really there. It makes all the difference in the world, particularly now with so many people losing their jobs. And particularly if it's a male, because our egos are a tad fragile. To hear not, well, you bum, you got to go out there and find something.
And we're tied to what we do. Our self-esteem is tied into doing with guys in particular. So that is a particularly fragile situation. So what should a lady do? Because we got a lot of people watching tonight. There's been some layoffs. So particularly in that situation, what does she do for her guy?
I was just asked that same question again this morning. Again, it's the most common question right now. I tell him, understand that he probably is going to go through some depression because his ego is crushed. Also understand that because of that depression, sometimes he won't be extremely active every day. He might sit on the sofa for half a day one day. If you're saying, how many resumes have you sent out? How many calls have you made? And you hound him with that, what he's hearing is, you can't do this. You're no good. You're rotten. It's all your fault. Obviously, you need to encourage him to do those things, but in a way that says, I believe in you, like your wife does for you. I believe in you. I know this can happen. One way or other, it will work out for the good because you are you. They need to hear that now more than any other time, ever. And what you do, of course, is dramatically important.
But I didn't marry you for the job. I married you for you.
Well, they may have married him for the job, if so they're in big trouble. But yes, I married you because I love the person you are.